Hello everyone and welcome. This is my review of the brand new biopic about boxing. This is Hands of Stone. Now the film stars Edgar Ramirez, Robert De Niro, Ellen Barkin, John Turturro, Usher, and this lovely actress that was just in a movie last week with War Dogs, and I was kind of wondering as I'm watching this movie, where have I seen her before? But she's also in this movie as well. She also plays a wife in this film. So her name is Ana de Armas. Very lovely new actress from Cuba. Okay, so what is this film about? Well, it's about a man named Roberto Duran. He was from Panama. He had a mom, but he didn't have a dad. Well, his dad wasn't around, and his dad was an American, so he wasn't a big fan of America at all. Not only was that going on in his family, but at the same time, he's living in Panama in the 1960s and 70s and 80s, and so this movie is about him, but it's also about the conflict and the drama between the Panama Canal in the 1970s and the 1980s. Roberto Duran is a man that I knew nothing about until seeing this film. I saw the trailer of the movie, and I had an idea that the movie's about boxing. That's really all I knew. I knew that it was based on somebody, but I really didn't have a clear idea who. Now we get to know Roberto as a young child, or a young kid, or like maybe 11 or 12-year-old in the 1960s, as he is discovering boxing for the first time, and then in the 1970s, early 1970s, or late 1960s, he is suddenly Edgar Ramirez, a 39-year-old man, but I believe that Edgar was probably playing like a 20-year-old. It didn't really convince me. He gets to meet his wife, and he's just really doing great with boxing, and the movie gets quite interesting, of course, because the main story is his relationship with a man named Ray Arcel, who is played by Robert De Niro. Hope I didn't say Robert Downey Jr. I just said it right now, but I meant Robert De Niro. So I've seen a lot of boxing movies in my time. Of course, some of the best: The Fighter, Rocky, Raging Bull, Robert De Niro. Is this up there with them, or is this at least a good movie? Well, when the movie first started, it was hard to believe, especially when we meet Edgar Ramirez in this movie, and he's playing a 20-year-old, and according to IMDb, he's my age, 30, just turned 39 a few months ago, and it was really hard to believe. So as the movie goes along and we get to see him fight and become very successful, by the end of the 1970s, I started to believe, okay, now Edgar Ramirez, his character has reached the age of Edgar Ramirez, so I'm really starting to believe in the situation that he's going through. A lot of the plot even thickens even more when he starts to fight Sugar Ray Leonard, who's played by Usher in this movie, and the challenge they had fighting with each other. Of course, we see the challenges that he has with the Robert De Niro character, the challenges he has with his lovely, beautiful wife, and the whole idea of how to handle fame and at the same time live up to what people look up to him in his own native country. So all this stuff's going on in the film, and how was it? It, again, as I said before, it was a little rough in the beginning, but as the movie went along, and I really loved Robert De Niro in this film, if I would recommend this film to anyone, I would say see the film mainly because of Robert De Niro. He is so good. This is one of the best performances he's done since The Intern, which was just a year ago, because he at least gives us a good performance every few years, even though he is in some bad movies as well, especially this year with Dirty Grandpa, but I'm forgetting that one right now, thankfully. But this one, he was just solid. I believed in him. I wish he had more time on the screen with Ellen Barkin, who plays his wife. I think there's some nice scenes he has with his very own daughter that I think plays his daughter in the movie from another marriage. So that was really cool as well. I believe that was his daughter in the film. I did love his relationship with Roberto Duran, Edgar Ramirez's character. Usher is decent in the film. The movie does take a break a little bit, and we get to meet Sugar Ray Leonard and his relationship with his wife, which I thought was quite nice, that they actually gave us some time with them and their relationship. The kind of movie took a break from the main character and focused on some of the supporting cast. John Turturro is good in the film, but if you want to see him in a great thing right now, watch The Night Of on HBO. In this film, he is not there very much. He's a mob mob gangster or whatever, and he has a few scenes with Robert De Niro. So I didn't really like the movie in the beginning, but as the film went along, I really liked the movie a lot. I would say the boxing sequences are not that impressive, in my opinion. I've seen better. The world has seen better boxing. So it was okay. It wasn't really that interesting. What I loved about this movie the most was Robert De Niro. Every time he was on screen delivering his dialogue, he delivered it with conviction. I believed that who he was. At first I was like, it's just Robert De Niro being Robert De Niro, and then as it went along, he was the shining moment of this entire film. What else to say? I don't really like the way the film looks. It looks too clean. Feels like a TV movie at times. But whatever. There's some gratuitous nudity, so if you like gratuitous sex and nudity in the film, there's some of that, which was quite nice. But didn't make me like the movie anymore, but it was nice, gratuitous, nice. What else? Yeah, good movie. Interesting film that I like that I actually did take a break from the boxing stuff to give you an idea of what's going on between America and Panama at the time in the 70s and 80s. So the movie is willing to take risks and not just focus on one thing, but focus on many things, and it balances out somewhat nicely, but does feel a little messy at times, especially when it comes to the scenes of boxing, which I wasn't really convinced by them. They weren't terrible, so don't give me an idea that they were terrible by any means. They just weren't as exciting as what we've seen in the past. So I liked the film. I thought it was a good, solid biopic, very interesting at times, but really held together by a wonderful performance from a great actor, Robert De Niro. I think he is the main reason I will recommend this movie. And for that, I will give this film, Hands of Stone, I will give it a solid 3 stars out of 4.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.